There's leaks in your current sales system. What I mean by that is there's a certain process that a client needs to go through from the point that they first consume your content to the point they hand over a credit card number. We're going to dive into what those things are, but what's more important about this is understanding the psychology of why these things are so important. So let's talk about a client that ends up, let's say they opt in, right? Maybe they follow you on Instagram. They start going through all of your content. Your setter or you sends a DM, hey, thanks for the follow, and you engage in conversation. Typically what's going to happen is we're immediately going in. A lot of coaches are immediately going in like, okay, well, what are you looking for? How can I help? And it's almost needy, right? And it's just, it turns people off. But more importantly, they're sending over a ton of information, trying to fast track the process. And that might be in form of a VSL. It might be a free lead magnet to get them to opt in. What I want you to focus on are authentic conversations. Hey, thanks for the follow. I noticed that you do this and this. How long you been in the space, right? Where are you guys at? What are you trying to do? Do you have people on the team now? Awesome. That's cool. We're in the same spot. We're actually building on, new team members daily or weekly or monthly, whatever, right? Make it real, tell the truth. When we get to that point, the beauty is we've dug deep enough to get some core information. Hey, I know why you need the help. What else have you tried? Why are you still looking? What does it look like if you don't do something different? Have you made the decision that you need to do something now, or why is the timing so important? So I'm asking these questions in the DM to get them to the point where they're pre-qualified. And it's not just a checklist. Okay, I checked off this, and this. I'm going to go ahead and send them the calendar link. But more importantly, it's driving a particular psychological result. I want the client to fully believe, based on the questions that I ask, that I genuinely care, because I do. I want them to understand that I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to solve a problem for them, not trying to drive them to give me a credit card number. I'm not talking about my program, right? So when I get to that point, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, well, hey, I think we could potentially really help you. We have a process, and we certainly don't look to work with everybody. I have about a 30-minute video that if we are going to set an appointment, I would need you to go through that video first. No big deal. If not, if you're not at a time and place where you're serious, no big deal. Notice my high engagement, low attachment. It's not about me, it's about you. But if, you tell me, does it make sense for you to go put 30 minutes into a video before we book our call for tomorrow? Notice what happens there is I take the pressure off. I put them in the position where they're in the driver's seat and they're not necessarily relying on me to push them. Instead, it's like, yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. Yeah, I think it would make sense for me to do that. It's like, okay, perfect. The reason I want you to do that is this is not for everybody, and we're not for everybody. There's some information in there that I think is going to help you get more clarity around how we help our clients, but it's also going to give you some clarity on who we're looking to work with, right? So why don't we do this? What is your timeline? Are you able to watch that now? Yeah, I could watch it now. Okay. And again, you're doing this all through the DMs in most cases, right? It might be on a triage call. That's fine too. But I think what's more important, you guys, is building trust and building a relationship there, to where your client chooses to go watch that VSL. They choose to go through that lead magnet because you've built something there that all the other coaches have missed, right? You're not just another salesperson. You're not just another person that's looking to pump somebody into their program. We can still have a ton of new clients coming on month after month after month, but do it authentically. And when we have conversations like this, or our setters have conversations like this, it puts us in the driver's seat to only work with the clients we want to. It puts us in a position to where we're not fighting to get the right people on the calendar, but instead these individuals are choosing to work with us because of the way that we took them through a very casual conversation. So once we get to that point, what comes next is having an authentic conversation. So if we kind of play the tape, they've already gone through our VSL at this point, right? Odds are that if they've gone through the VSL, they've clicked our calendar link, they've already completed the information we need to figure out, like revenue targets. Have they invested in coaching before? Do they have a significant other that needs to be on the call? You need to have all that built into your form. Now, I'm going to let you decide how deep that form goes, because if your content highly qualifies your client and they know a ton about you before they get on the call, then odds are you probably don't need to go through all that information. Maybe your setter or you're getting it in the DMs. But if you want to save your time, and one of my mentors used to always say, there's only so much fuel in your tank, right? Only so much gas in your gas tank, and every call you have, every sales call takes it down a little more, a little more, a little more. So if you're spreading yourself thin, it gets to the point where you're going to hit burnout. If you can put a lot of that weight on your setter's shoulders, it puts you in a position where you're only speaking with highly qualified people that understand exactly what you're all about, what your program consists of. They understand it's a paid program. They know that we don't reschedule appointments. So if they miss the appointment, you're not getting on another call with them. So notice the qualification that's happening there, right? But I'm also sending out texts ahead of time. So I've got a text that confirms the appointment. I've got another text that may send out additional videos after they've watched the VSL, after they've scheduled. Maybe if it's more than 2 days out or more than 24 or 48 hours out, my CRM sends another text. Hey, Bob, I was just thinking about you, and we just recorded this video a little while back. And based on the conversation we had, I think it'd be really helpful for you to watch before a call. Always end it in a question. Do you think you can make that happen by this evening? And you can automate these texts, right? Because you're going to talk about certain pain points with every single client. And there's going to be a few pain points that apply to everybody that needs your help. So find those pain points and create a few quick videos, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that you can automate and send out as confirmation and keep that conversation going. By the time you get on the phone with this client for the sales call, I want them to feel like you've already had 4, 5, 6 different interactions. I want them to already watch the video. Hey, do you think you can get that completed tonight or by this evening? Yeah, I think I can do that, Corey. Okay, hey, do you mind sending me a text once you've covered it, just with maybe the 2 or 3 things that you feel like that really apply to you? Or hey, do you mind sending over once it's completed tonight? Do you mind texting me with the first 1 to 2 things that really stood out to you based on where you're needing help? So notice what I'm doing here. I'm getting touch points, and they're seeing my face, they're hearing my voice. So when I get on the sales call, I'm not having to spend my time getting their guard down, but instead I'm spending the time with asking them questions and then giving all the information I need and all the reasons that they need my help. We're not spending our time talking about the program or the benefits or the details. They're going to make their decision because they're already pre-sold on your content, your authenticity, and you've built trust. They've already consumed everything that you asked them to. They followed through. They showed up. They took notes. They were fully engaged. They weren't driving. They weren't at a restaurant. They were home taking notes. Notice this process, you guys, and the amount of individuals that you'll be able to put into your coaching program versus into follow-up will be diametrically different. If this was helpful, make sure you give us a follow, share it with your friends. And if you would like some more information on what this actually looks like to work with us, feel free to send us a DM. We'll see you in the next one.